Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 weapon spotlight, the first in the new Steel Rain era. And today we're going to take a look at an interesting weapon. We've got a Nocturnal Handmade with 25% damage while aiming. So both of these effects have been updated for Steel Rain. Nocturnal no longer has its daytime negative, and damage while aiming was buffed from 10% to 25%. So we get a chance to take a look at both of these effects as we go. Remember, if you like videos like this and you want to see more, do go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. There's always a lot more to come. And as always in these videos, what we're going to do is we're going to start out taking a look at my build and a look at the weapon itself, and then we'll jump into the action. There will be timestamps here, so if you're already familiar with this stuff and you want to skip right ahead, you can go ahead and do that. But that way it's there for those who are interested. Without further ado, let's take a look at the weapon itself. And here we have it. We've got the Red Viper paint, which I think is from last season's scoreboard. I think that looks pretty badass. We've got the Nocturnal effect, which you can see right now we're doing 105 damage with this. I am running at full health this time around, but 105 damage, and we're almost to 6 a.m. as we sit here and look at this. So we'll see that tick down once the clock ticks over. You reach your maximum damage buff at 5:59 a.m. and then you tick back over, and there it goes. Now we're back down to 82. So we can see we got, what's that, about 23 extra points of damage there. With the additive model, that's pretty good. I'm guesstimating that's somewhere around a 60 or 70% buff. I suppose we could have gone a little more into detail on this one, but really I just wanted to see how the weapon works, and we'll play around with some things as we go. But yeah, so we've got the Nocturnal effect, tweaked receiver, so we get the best damage and better critical damage, aligned long barrel, so we get more hipfire accuracy, true stock for more range and hipfire accuracy, stinging magazine for some armor penetration and good mag capacity, suppressor to keep us quiet, and a reflex sight again. Normally helps with VATS AP cost, and the plan is to go through this without a whole lot of VATS today to take advantage of that 25% damage while aiming, but we're also going to see exactly how that seems to be working right now, which is kind of curious. So there's the weapon. Let's go ahead and take a look at mutations. As for mutations, we've got the typical things I have on my Bloodied Stealth Commando. Adrenal reaction, so we do more damage at low health. We're not going to go low health today, but as we take hits, if we take hits, we may see that that comes in handy. Bird bones and marsupial, so we can jump high and land softly. Carnivore, so meat is more effective. Chameleon, which is, as far as I can tell, completely and utterly useless. Eagle eyes for better perception and more critical damage. Healing factor, so we automatically heal up between fights. Scaly skin for a little extra damage and energy resistance. Speed demon, so we move and reload faster. And this character has talons, which eventually actually will be useful because I'll do an alternate build here for unarmed and melee, so I'll be able to take advantage of all that stuff. The other thing I'm noticing is that bug that was not showing the correct negatives to our mutations with Class Freak seems to have been fixed, so hopefully we don't need to deal with that in the future. So we get the point of these. Let's take a look at legendary perks. This is my main character, so of course I have Ammo Factory maxed out so we can craft as much ammo as possible. Whenever we do that, I am not a fan of grinding for materials, so anything that keeps my guns loaded and keeps me having fun and playing the game instead of farming for things makes me a happy camper. After that, we've got legendary intelligence. Right now, I've got that ranked up 3 points. I need one more to max it out. We'll have to earn some more perk coins before we can do that. But the goal there is to be able to run Gunsmith and Demolition Expert in addition to Nerd Rage and whatever else I feel like sticking in intelligence all at the same time. Basically gives me a little more flexibility, but we're not quite there yet. After that, we've got legendary Charisma at 3 stars. That lets me take more Charisma perks, but remember, it does not allow you to share stronger perk cards. So if that's your goal with Charisma, then you want to put that in your build itself and not in the legendary perks. Following Charisma, we've got Follow Through. This one's a big one for any kind of stealth build. whether you're a stealth rifleman or a stealth commando, especially on tankier enemies. With this, your enemies will take 40% more damage when it's maxed out after you land a successful sneak attack. Stealth commandos may find that this is a little less effective. It does seem to take a few trigger pulls until you actually get it to process, so it's a little bit slow. Single shot rifle characters will find that it's much more efficient, and it definitely helps us out today, although it does confuse things at one point. And following that, we've got Legendary Endurance and Legendary Luck. Legendary Endurance lets me again take more endurance perks. I use that for Revenant, so I can get revived during battles and do extra damage. And Legendary Luck allows me, basically under normal circumstances, to take a lot more VATS perks. Today, we're not really going to run with those because we want to do that 25 damage while aiming and take advantage of that. But those are the legendary perks that are here. It costs perk coins to swap them around, so we don't want to get too crazy with that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the special build and the regular perk cards before we get into everything. So I've made a few little adjustments here for this weapon. But as always, we start off with 2 points in strength for Bandolier to reduce ammo weight. Perception's maxed out. We've got the commando perks mostly maxed out. One of them is 1 point shy so that we can take Tank Killer and Ground Pounder, maxing both of those out and still having 1 point for concentrated fire. Knowing that I wasn't going into this with VATS, maybe it would have made a little more sense to lose concentrated fire for today, but we got to play around with it a little bit anyway, so it's okay. Endurance is at 3. We've got Radical, which is going to give me more strength when my rads are high, which normally they are. Today they're not going to be because we're going to run at full health. And then we've got Revenant, so that when I get revived during fights, I do extra damage. Not going to be a factor today because we're running solo, but that's what's there, and there isn't really anything else more useful to put there. Under Charisma, we've got 7 points due to that legendary perk, so I've got Lone Wanderer maxed out, which is going to help me take less damage and give me better AP refresh. I've also got Tenderizer on here, so after we land shots on our target, they're going to take additional damage. Intelligence is at 12, and here we've got Gunsmith maxed out to reduce the wear and tear on the weapon. Scrapper, so I get more steel when I scrap weapons for ammo. Nerd Rage is still here, even though we're not going low health. And then I've just got batteries included in Hacker there because why not? This is not an explosive weapon, so I don't really have a need to run Demolition Expert today, so might as well just kind of leave things hang there. Under Agility, we've got that maxed out, and here you can see we've got 1 point in Sneak and 2 points in Mr. Sandman. I don't usually run Mr. Sandman because I just get forgetful and I forget to swap it in and out, but knowing that we're going to do a nighttime run here makes sense to do that and maximize the damage we can get from this Nocturnal weapon. So we've still got 1 point in Sneak to help keep us hidden, but that's going to free things up a little bit. Covert Operative is going to give us more sneak damage as well. Escape Artist will help us get away if we do get detected, and Adrenaline is going to give us more damage as we take on bigger and bigger mobs. Even though I'm not really relying on VATS today, Gunfu is there. Probably should have swapped that out or could have swapped that out for something else, but you live and you learn, and didn't seem to make too much of a difference. Luck is at 15, and we've got Starch Genes and Class Freak, so we can keep our mutations and reduce their negative effects. Bloody Mess is going to give us a little extra damage. Serendipity is on there because normally I'm low health. That helps me avoid damage at low health. Probably, again, could have taken that off and put something else in there, but I'm trying not to pick up a lot of excess perk cards right now. I want to be able to trade them in for perk coins, so we don't want to get too creative if we don't have to. But I did take my VATS critical related perks off and put on 2 points of Ricochet and 2 points of Quick Hands. Quick Hands gives us a chance at an automatic reload, and Ricochet deflects damage back from some enemies and deals a little bit of damage to them. So those two things are going to be a little more useful if we're not relying heavily on VATS. So bear in mind, as we go today, I will make some changes to some of these as we sort of experiment with things, and I'll explain that as we go. But let's get into it. Let's head over to Whitespring and start killing some things. And here we are at the good old golf club. It is officially nighttime, so we'll take advantage of that nocturnal effect. And look at that. Look at all that damage on that Rad Roach. Easy kill. Weapon's a winner. All right, let's just check here. 9:43 p.m. And we should also check the damage. We're currently getting 109, but that's because I have a kill and Adrenaline is on. So let's just see here. 192 on the torsos. All right, so adrenaline is building up. All right, they're a little tankier. 195. Not so bad so far, and we can see the adrenaline is working again. So a little bit inconsistent, but I think that's just because ghouls are a little bit inconsistent. But so far, this is a pretty easy breezy run. And we can see we're doing well so far with our damage while aiming and the Nocturnal effect. Easy enough. So torso shots. And you know, now I do want to see here, we're going to switch to a Vampires 175. Okay, so you can see the difference with adrenaline, with the other weapon. Here's Vampires. So damage while aiming is giving us a little bit of something, but so is the Nocturnal effect, so it's kind of hard to tell whether that's working. Maybe we'll look at that a little bit later. For now, let's just keep killing things. We'll keep going on our run. So far, double taps to the torso on everything is doing the job. And we're 10:09 p.m. and 132 damage. But again, that's because adrenaline is building us up. So far so good. And yeah, so is Nocturnal good now? Maybe. We'll take a look as we go. And I think the damage while aiming and the Nocturnal effect are definitely giving us plenty of damage. If we can two-shot ghouls with torso shots, that's good. So let's look at the Vampires quick. There's 175. That 382 because of follow-through. So yeah, it's a little hard to be scientific with all these different things on there, changing our damage numbers. But as we can see, the weapon's doing fine. Ghouls are squishy though, so it's a little bit hard to tell. All right, let's see who's left here. We got one creeping in, and they detected me fairly easily. All right, drink a little bit of water and get that health back. Not enough radiation there to take us off the full health damage number, so we're at 132, and we're 10:34 p.m. Okay, so what I'm trying to see here is not the damage scales as the night gets later, and I may have already blown my opportunity to measure that because of adrenaline and follow-through and everything that's kind of kicking in there to confuse things. Let's head into the deep and see what else we can figure out. So here we're going to get some Liberators, and those have a little heavier armor. But still, double shots to the torso, we're doing just fine. No problem at all. And I do think our damage while aiming is giving us a boost there. So that helps. And I am running a controller, so that is giving me aim assist as well. Does make it a little easier to hit these targets. You do have to kind of practice with it, but it definitely makes it easier to use a controller to free aim, which is kind of nice. I still like VATS. It's just cool. It's a very Fallout thing. But to test this effect, I think it's good. All right, let's just see here. We'll do a quick reload. And there we go. Easy enough. And you can see the follow-through kicking in there. We went from 242 to 373. And where are you hiding? I see you. Can't run away from me. I'm gonna get you. There you go. You're dead now. Okay. And we're just gonna unpack a few things from that corpse. Head around back. We should have another soldier and a power armor commander. We'll see how effective this weapon is against some power armor. And hip fire 242, 373. Okay. 242, 373, but I wasn't aiming. And it was doing the same thing it was. Okay, we're going to need to take a closer look at that, because I want to see how that works. I want to see the limitations of it. Let's do a quick damage check, 132, and 109 on the vampires, 132 there, so we're still okay. So I think it looks like we're just doing more damage at night. I could be wrong on that. It did take a while for it to kick in. It didn't actually increase damage until about 8 p.m. on the Pip-Boy, if I remember correctly. 215. All right, 196 was in there, so you could kind of see the damage while aiming is definitely having an effect, but I keep forgetting that there's also Nocturnal. So, yeah. All right, so right now I'm bouncing around between hipfire and not hipfire, but follow through is confusing things, so we're going to have to do a little bit more of a scientific test at some point here, and we will. I'll swap some perk cards off, but for now, let's finish up what we're doing here. 233 in VATS on the torso. 359. 238 to the hip. Follow through again. I'm going to have to take those perks off if I want to have a real clue what's going on here. We're still in caution, so there must be one more commie hanging around here somewhere. Where is he? Downstairs. Just sneak down and look. Maybe outside. We wouldn't be in caution if there wasn't one left. Where did you go? You must be outside. There you... Oh, it was the missile sniper. I forgot the missile sniper. All right. Well, it's a dead commie now. All right, let's head over to Solomon's Pond where I can get maybe a closer look at things. So we've got 105 damage again because adrenaline's gone. So 105 seems to be the maximum. And if it's scaling at night, it's not scaling much. So that tells us that. And let's just see what we can do here. We're going to take advantage of everything with follow through with everything here we can do. 122, 219, 219. So there you can see how effective, how much more effective follow through becomes. And of course, we've got our Mr. Sandman effect going on. So everything's doing well. 109 because we bumped up for a little bit of adrenaline. All in all, super easy kill. But now I think it's time to get a little more detailed. So let's remove some things here that can confuse us. Let's get rid of adrenaline. And what else? Let's get rid of tenderizer. Because I want to see whether or not the damage while aiming is working. So I should take off follow through, but I really don't want to waste a perk coin to do it. So let's see if we can figure this out on some Assaultrons. We're going to go play stupid games with Assaultrons and see if we win any stupid prizes. If I need to take off follow through to figure things out, I will, but hopefully we don't need to go there. Let's see here. Where is our first Assaultron? Where are you at, sweetheart? I know you're around here someplace. All right. They usually walk along the sidewalk here. There we go. So let's just take a quick look here. I want to see what conditions activate our... All right, 156, 247. So we've got follow through kicked in. Aiming 264. Okay. VATS 156. So we lost follow through. 264 there. All right, we had to kill it. It was getting a little too close for comfort. And let's just take off follow through. Let's just do it. I'm just gonna eat the perk coin. I'm doing this for science, everyone. Okay, let's get a little closer, and the first thing we're going to do is aim down the sight and see what our damage number is. Test these conditions for damage while aiming. 156. Now we're going to hip fire. 156. No difference. 156 on the torso. Even in VATS. Now we switch to the vampire. 134, but... the vampire's not a nocturnal weapon. Okay, so this is probably just a bad weapon to test this on, but from what I can tell here, clearly we can clearly see that either damage while aiming either isn't working at all, or it's working under all conditions. My instinct right now is that it's not working. Because that wasn't that much of a difference between the vampire and the nocturnal weapon. Maybe I'm misjudging, but yeah. So, okay, let's just kill off these last couple of Assaultrons. But I think that was fairly definitive, at least in terms of, we know it's either, we can tell that it's not working properly, at least on this weapon. It's either working while aiming, while hip firing, and in VATS, or it's not doing anything. So I think to really know for sure, I'm going to need to get a hold of a different weapon that has it, and maybe test that against a standard one, maybe a vampires or some slayers type weapon. So yeah, Assaultrons are dead. Let's head over to Bogtown here and just check our damages at 105. Easy enough. And We're still nighttime. So yeah, it does seem to be consistent throughout the night, which is good. And, you know, your standard damage on the Handmade at full health is 82, at least with all the mods and perks we're using. So it's definitely a decent little damage buff. And then the fact that it's nighttime and you know you're going to be nighttime, so you can use Mr. Sandman for extra damage, that's good too. So out here we're going to get a hold of another Behemoth and take him down, get a couple of shots on for follow through. And just as easy as the other one, we'll take out some super mutants, see if they give us any extra trouble. None at all. So yeah, easy weapon to use, definitely good. Nocturnal, in truth, Nocturnal has never been bad at night. The big drawback to it was that you had that debuff during the day, and it just made it kind of annoying to figure out. Now, at least you don't have that. So if you do still have it on you during the day, you're not really going to lose anything. Now let's try some Scorch Beasts and some Scorched. So again, 82 on a regular, or a Vampires one, which is a regular one. And a 105 on the Nocturnal, so we're doing pretty well there. We'll get a couple shots on the Scorch Beast. But probably better if we do build up some adrenaline with the minions. And I'm just going to go ahead and use VATS on these guys because clearly there's no difference between aiming down sights or using VATS. Whether we're getting that extra damage while aiming or not remains to be seen. But we also have a Flatwoods monster here. Didn't see that coming. So this Fissure site, the one up by Vault 79, is a random encounter point. Okay. So you can get sheep squatches here. You can get all kinds of stuff here. Usually it doesn't come down and interfere at the Fissure, but that's cool. I'll take a Flatwoods monster. We don't see a lot of Flatwoods monsters. It's one of the things I wish we saw more of in this game, were some of these cryptids that... It's cool that they show up, but I wish we saw them a little more often. Especially at higher levels. Even better if they were extra tough. Okay, where are you? We need to kill the Flatwoods monster first. There we go. And easy enough. Now we can kill off the Scorch Beast. Let's go ahead and loot that Flatwoods monster, though. They're very cool looking. You don't see a lot of them. I've seen maybe a dozen of them in all the time I've played Fallout 76. They're just not very common. So I wanted to try to get him to turn over there if I could get a closer look at the face, but it didn't want to cooperate. So Scorch Beast is now no longer under the Flatwoods monster's control. Let's finish him off, and oh good. Scorch Beast is making good life choices by landing. Thank you for that. Certainly makes my life easier. And now let's go take on some Mirelurks. We'll take out some regular ones, we'll take out some kings, and then finally we'll take out a queen. And just see how this goes. It is still... We're still at that 105 damage plus a little bit of adrenaline. It's still technically nighttime, although we are getting to the end of the road here. So we're going to have to do this fairly quickly. All right, let's see here. I know there's another king around here somewhere. I don't want to get taken by surprise. Now that we know damage while aiming is pointless. I shouldn't say pointless. It could very well just be giving us a buff all around. But I'm not sure. We'll find out. We'll find out in the future. We'll find another weapon that has it where we can test a little more accurately. Or I guess I could just test a Nocturnal weapon during the day. That would work too. We'll have to try that. So here's our king. And he's dead. All right, let's find a grenade. And there's our queen. We want to shoot for lower body, but let's try and go for those spouts. See if we can cripple the poison spouts. That is the most dangerous thing, but it didn't really work out that way. But she's going to die, and we're full health, so no problem. Just a quick stim pack here, and take out the last Mirelurk. Easy breezy, easy enough. So, what do we think about this weapon? Let's talk conclusions. Is Nocturnal good now? Did it instantly become the new meta? Is it as good as Bloodied? Well, kind of to the first part, and no to the second and third. It's definitely better than it was, no question about it. The old Nocturnal used to lose half its damage during the day, so if you caught yourself out with it, you could get in trouble pretty easily. It was always pretty good at night though, so getting rid of the negative was a big step in the right direction, and it'll make it an enjoyable effect for probably a good number of players. Is it the new meta? Is it as good as Bloodied? No, just no, it isn't. Let's just take a look at damage numbers. You can see my Bloodied Handmade here is doing 150. The best we got out of the Nocturnal, not factoring in Adrenaline, was 105. That's a big difference. If we ran the Nocturnal at low health, we'd probably get a little closer to that, but what's the point of doing that? If you're going to go low health, you might as well get a Bloodied weapon and get that benefit all the time. For a full health effect, though, it's definitely pretty solid. Sure, it only works at night, but without the old daytime negative, you'll still do just fine with this even without the legendary effect. If you're running a stealth commando build, you really don't need a legendary at all to do a ton of damage, so a Nocturnal Handmade isn't a bad way to go. How about the 25% damage while aiming, the Hitman's effect? On paper, it sounds great. Jumping from 10 to 25% is a big increase, but as we saw today, it's hard to tell if it's even working. We saw clearly that we were getting the same damage whether we aimed down sights, hip-fired, or even used VATS. Without further testing, it's impossible to know if that means it's working no matter how you aim, or if it's not working at all. Or it could be that it works correctly or incorrectly rather in either direction, depending on the weapon or combination of effects. I'll definitely do more digging on that in the future. I'm not ready to write it off just yet, but something definitely wasn't right with that today. But for now, I think I'm comfortable saying that Nocturnal got an upgrade and upgrades are good. Is it the new meta? Absolutely not even close, but it's a whole lot better than it was. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to bring this video to a close. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter. I announce videos there, live streams, all that stuff. So there's always a lot more to come on the channel, and I do hope I see you next time. Until then, I'm Fisty McRib.